10 Strangest Discoveries Made in Ice. Prepare your ice axes as we explore these amazing frozen discoveries. We're going to count down the top 10 strangest things ever found in ice. An entire mountain range was discovered by a Soviet expedition in 1958. Under 600 meters of ice in Antarctica, the Gembertsev mountain range is one of the world's largest mountain ranges. A total of 1,250 kilometers are covered by it. Approximately 3,390 meters of altitude are found on the peaks of this mountain. Mountain ranges of this size are approximately as large as European Alps. Its remote location under ice means scientists don't know much about its characteristics, despite its size. Number 10. Yuka the Mammoth. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to meet a mammoth in person? Let us take a trip back in time to introduce you to one of the most amazing frozen discoveries ever made. Meet Yuka the Mammoth. You may have been taught that mammoths only exist in cartoons. But Yuka wasn't a movie character. Many people didn't believe the story that Yuka roamed the earth thousands of years ago, until this incredible discovery was made. Local people of Yuka Gir found a mummified giant mammoth corpse near the OVC of Siberia in 2010. And it is believed to be Yuka, who died about 39,000 years ago, weighing about 5,000 kilograms. At the age of 6 to 11, she was said to have died. A common name for girls in Japan is Yuka, which is the place of discovery of the mammoth. Her body was mostly intact due to the freezing temperatures. To learn more about her life and the world she lived in, scientists studied her fur, skin, and even the contents of her stomach. The exact cause of death is still unknown. She probably died from sudden exposure to extreme cold, perhaps after falling through ice or being caught in a blizzard, based on the circumstances of her discovery, frozen and well preserved in the Siberian permafrost. In order to fully understand her life and death, it is important to understand that this is just a theory based on her preservation conditions and that scientists are still studying her remains. Number 9. Alps soldiers in World War I. High up in the Alps, where the air is thin and the snow is eternal, a chilling story unfolds. Ice, together with the courage and sacrifice of past heroes, is shown to be an enduring force. World War I saw the Allies clash with the Austro-Hungarian Empire amid the harsh, snowy peaks of the Alps, leaving behind ruins. As time passed, the era's remains were buried under the ice. Melting ice revealed one by one the long-lost artifacts, such as military equipment, personal belongings, and even letters, as time passed. There was more to the reveal, however. Recent glacier melts around the small Italian ski resort of Peyo have revealed mummified bodies of World War I soldiers. Specifically, in September 2023, 2 blue-eyed soldiers with bullet holes in their heads were discovered in the ice near the village that witnessed the heavy fighting between Austro-Hungarian troops and the Italian army during the then White War. For both sides, the biggest enemy was the weather, which reportedly killed more men than the fighting. At those altitudes, the temperature is 30 degrees Celsius, which no one should endure. Number 8. It looks like blood in the water. When Griffith Taylor was on an Antarctic expedition 110 years ago, he made a jaw-dropping discovery. As a result of its color, he may have mistaken the waterfall for a bloodfall. Ever since its discovery, scientists have been puzzled by this bizarre phenomenon. A research team using ground-penetrating radar made a near breakthrough in 2017 when they discovered a buried saltwater reservoir beneath the waterfall. Despite the freezing temperatures, the high salt concentration and pressure at the glacier's base keep the water flowing. But the sudden creepy color change still cannot be explained. There have been many theories proposed by scientists over the years. Iron-rich minerals were thought to be the cause. The water becomes colored when magnetite or hematite weathers. There was also speculation that it might be a mass of red ice algae. All of these theories, however, failed to explain the mystery completely. Colorado College and the University of Alaska Fairbanks led the team that made the real breakthrough. In order to get a better understanding of the blood falls, scientists used transmission electron microscopes to analyze water and soil samples. Number 7, New York, Allen Hills, 84001. A meteorite that killed dinosaurs may be the most famous space rock, but Allen Hill's 84001 comes in second. It was discovered in 1984 in the Allen Hills ice field in Antarctica. On Mars, an igneous rock weighing 9 kilograms crystallized about 4 billion years ago from magma. In the past 5 billion years, the Earth was probably shocked and altered by one or more meteoroid or asteroid impacts into what it is today. Approximately 4 billion years ago, it was formed as part of Mars' crust. The asteroid stayed on Mars for about 17 million years before it went into space after hitting Mars. Around 13,000 years ago, it eventually landed in Antarctica after zipping around for a long time. Even though the rock is old and interesting, its age is not its most controversial feature. According to NASA scientists who performed microscopic and chemical analyses on the meteorite in 1996, the strange carbonates in the meteorite were produced by Martian microorganisms. It should be noted that the carbonate grains observed are associated with organic compounds and contain minute crystals of iron minerals similar to those produced by bacteria. It is likely that life existed on Mars if this hypothesis were true. The fact that we haven't found definitive proof of that so far makes this an important discovery. Other scientists, however, refuted these claims in subsequent investigations. According to them, carbonate grains can be explained by non-biological processes. Several years later, this naysayer was proven right when a scientific report in the Journal of Science confirmed that no signs of life could be detected in the carbonate grains. Number 6. During Antarctica's winter sea ice, scientists were shocked to discover a strange hole that appeared in October of 2017. As a result of its atypical size and massive proportions, this hole was shocking. It occupied about half the size of the U.S. state of Maine and seemingly came out of nowhere. Paleniums were discovered by scientists after studying it, as you might expect. Because the deep water in that part of the Southern Ocean is warmer and saltier than the surface water, Apollonia forms. Occasionally, ocean currents can bring warmer water upward, melting the ice blankets that had formed at the ocean surface. Palenia was formed as a result of that melting. Due to the continuous exposure of the water inside the hole to the atmosphere above, new ice layers cannot form. There is still a lot of mystery surrounding Palenias, even though we know how they work. It is most common to find them on the coast, where ice is close to non-frozen seawater. Palenia, however, opened up very deep in the interior of the continent in this case, puzzling scientists. As of now, we are not sure what the long-term effects of Apollonia will be, and whether they will have serious environmental consequences. Number 5. The existence of ancient viruses might sound crazy, but it turns out viruses can survive for thousands of years under ice. As a result, it's practically impossible to know how many ancient viruses have already been released, and how many are still frozen. Some of them, however, have been discovered by scientists. Until now, scientists have studied permafrost viruses only infecting single-celled organisms known as amoebas. The reason for this is that the viruses under the ice are harmless and provide a good model for others that may lurk beneath. According to computational biologist Jean-Michel Clavier, we won't risk isolating a virus that can eventually infect modern mammals. The following are some of the so-called safe viruses that have so far been discovered. The first is Pythovirus cyberisum. There is no doubt that this virus is one of the largest ever found. One end of the 5 ma long monstrosity has a cork cap, and the other end has a honeycomb-like grid. An ancient Siberian permafrost core in the Russian Far East was found to harbor this virus, which is believed to be at least 30,000 years old. Number 4. As a result of the disappearance of Sir John Franklin in 1848, the HMS Investigator was launched. As a famous Arctic explorer, it caused quite a commotion, and soon the British Arctic Council began setting up search parties and offering reward money to locate him. Although some clues were found, it wasn't until July of 2010 that most of the mystery was solved. To put this into context, the British Navy was very focused on finding the Northwest Passage around this time. Although only fabled, the hope was that by finding a way to cross the Arctic between the Atlantic and Pacific, shipping between the two oceans would be much faster. Because the Panama Canal hadn't yet been built, ships had to sail around South America's bottom during this time period. A northwest passage was hoped to be safer due to the fact that this was quite a dangerous route. The expedition of Sir John Franklin was an attempt to discover this seaway. A 59-year-old Franklin and his crew of HMS Erebus and HMS Terror embarked on the voyage in 1845. There were problems from the beginning. In 1846, the crew managed to get through the winter of 1845, but the boats got stuck in the ice during the winter of 1846 due to improper sealing of the food. As a result of the contamination, much of the provisions on the ships were inedible, and after 2 years without news, the wife of Sir Franklin requested that the British Admiralty conduct a search. Number 3. In the frigid winters of 2016 and 2017, vast holes appeared in the Antarctic sea ice, leaving scientists puzzled. Maud Rise Palenia, named after the submerged mountain beneath it, covered an area more than twice the size of Wales. Maud Rise Palenia persisted for multiple winters, which makes it even more puzzling than most Palenias that come and go seasonally. There are Palenias in the sea ice, which allow significant heat and carbon dioxide exchange between the ocean and the atmosphere. The Maud Rise Palenia, however, emerged far from land due to wind patterns in the open ocean, adding to the mystery. What led to the formation of this massive hole? An intensive study was conducted by a team of scientists to determine what led to this extraordinary occurrence. As a result, warmer, saltier water arose from the depths of the Weddell Sea due to a powerful underwater whirlpool intensifying the ocean circulation system. Warm, salty water upwelled at the surface, altering the balance between freezing and melting. Maud Reyes was overcome by the turbulent currents around her, contributed to the transportation of salt to the mountain's summit. A major role was also played by the physics of wind-driven ocean currents, known as Ekman transport. Due to this deflection, the salt concentrated around Maud rose towards its northern side, causing the opening within the sea ice. This was explained by co-author Professor Alberto Nara-Rebate. In order to maintain salt mixing and heat transfer, Ekman transport was the essential ingredient. A Maud Rise Palenia is a perfect example of how dynamic and interconnected our planet's systems are. However, the story doesn't end there. In order to decode the broader changes in the Southern Ocean, it is crucial to understand these events. Ocean Palenia, such as Maud Rise, can influence how water moves and heat is distributed around the world. It has been noted that the dense waters formed here can spread across the global ocean, demonstrating their far-reaching impact. It provides further insight into the delicate balances within polar environments and their potential global consequences even in the most remote and desolate corners of the planet. The Maud Reyes Palenia serves as a reminder that even in the most remote and desolate corners of the globe, dynamic processes are at play. Number 2, Otzi the Iceman. It's the 19th of September 1991, and Helmut and Erika Simone are trekking through the Utzal Alps, straddling the Austrian and Italian borders. Suddenly, they stumble upon what they believe is the victim of a recent mountaineering accident. They weren't expecting what happened next. Here's Otzi. Europe's oldest natural human mummy, dating between 3,350 and 3,105 BC. Over 5,000 years ago, this guy was frozen in the ice. I would like to rewind a bit. Near the Similon Mountain and the Tissignac Pass, Otzi was found at an altitude of 3,210 meters. The discovery was nothing short of a frosty surprise for him. As it turned out, extracting Otzi wasn't a walk in the park. A failed attempt to retrieve him with ice axes and pneumatic drills was abandoned due to bad weather. It's like Mother Nature is giving you the cold shoulder. It took until the 22nd of September to finally free the frozen mummy from its icy tomb and transport it to Innsbruck for examination. Konrad Spindler, an archaeologist at the University of Innsbruck, recognized they had unearthed something extraordinary, dating the discovery to at least 4,000 years old. Otzi, however, was more than just a frozen icicle. The arrowhead on his left shoulder suggested a dramatic end to his life, revealing a window into the Copper Age. Next time you're in the Alps, keep keep your eyes peeled. It is impossible to predict what ancient secrets lurk beneath the snow. Number 1. The remains of a once thriving, fortified city now claimed by the sea are visible in the form of merged walls, pottery, sculptures, and artifacts. DWs Tale, the lost city of Dwarka. Under the waves of the Arabian Sea lies this ancient city, formerly home to the Hindu god Krishna. Dwarka was not just any city. It was one founded by Lord Krishna himself, according to legend. As told in the stories, Krishna requested 12 yojanas of land from Samudra, the ocean god. The land of Kushasthali was transformed into the magnificent city of Dwarka, also known as Dwaravati by Samudra. This wasn't just any city, it was the Golden City, built by divine architects. As a result of Krishna's presence, Dwarka became a bustling center of spirituality and opulence, attracting pilgrims from all over the world. In modern times, Dwarka is still a major pilgrimage site thanks to its famous Dwarkadish temple. Here's where things get interesting. Dwarka is believed to have submerged into the Arabian Sea after Krishna's demise, marking the end of the Devapara Yuga and the beginning of the Kal Yuga. There are scholars who believe this might be a metaphor, while others argue it was a literal submersion due to natural disasters such as coastal erosion. Let's fast forward to the present day. Many archaeological expeditions have been conducted along the Indian coastline in search of the mystery of Dwarka. Through these underwater adventures, myth and fantasy have been revealed, and history has continued to captivate us. So what do you think about these incredible discoveries? Do you know any more that weren't mentioned in the video? Let us know in the comment section. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more. Also, click the following video shown on your screen. You will enjoy it.